Ok, on va vous laisser la porte de derrière ouverte pour les observateurs. Okay, so we're going to start, and people will join probably in a way. So good morning. I'm Christophe Milin. I work for CINEA, the executive agency in charge of the Green Deal. And among the different programs we manage the Life Clean Energy Transition Program and also the Horizon 2020 Energy Efficiency Legacy. Today we have three speakers, two projects actually. We have a first project called SHEERENOV, which is an integrated home renovation services project in Bulgaria. And then we will have a short presentation also of a new project called EU Peers, which is a community of practice of integrated home renovation services practitioners. So today we have SEVDALINA VOYNOVA, almost there, who is an expert in democratization and good governance with over 10 years of experience in Eastern Europe and Eurasia. She is Director of Program at Sofia Development Association. So she will be speaking on SHEERENOV, together with MARIYANA HAMANOVA, also over 10 years of experience, but more on project management in sustainable development, environmental protection, optimization of resources in industry and SMEs. And so both of them and MARIYANA is working for Cleantech Bulgaria as an executive director. And both of them will present the SHEERENOV project. We will have the full presentation and then the presentation from the EU Peers project with participation of KEILMANN, who is working at Climate Alliance and is the coordinator for this EU Peers project. KEILMANN also have over 10 years of experience in supporting local climate action at Climate Alliance. She managed different projects related to energy renovation, energy efficiency, notably in the residential sector, including some participatory approaches. So we'll start with the first presentation of SHEERENOV for 20 minutes. Then I propose we jump directly to the second presentation for EU Peers, and then we'll have together the question for 15 minutes or so for both projects. So the floor is yours.
Is it? Yeah, it works. Hello, everyone. My name is MARIYANA HAMANOVA, and as mentioned, I'm Executive Director of Cleantech Bulgaria. If you could put the slides, please. It's from here. Okay. No, it's a different present. I mean, this is probably the panel slide, but we have several slides on the project. So, while waiting for the slides, thank you very much. A few words about Cleantech. Cleantech is a coordinator of the SHEERENOV project. The project started in 2020 and finished in 2022, at the end of 2022. So it was quite challenging period with a lot of crises like COVID that we didn't expect it in that period of starting the project, and 4 times changing of government in Bulgaria in that period. So you imagine how hard it was to finalize a project which was very much related to policy, energy efficiency, legislation, regulation, and normative acts. But the good news is that we managed to really do even more from what we have expected in the beginning. because it was a good period of all the operational programs planning for the next funding period, as well as the recovery and resilience plan, which started in 2021. So SHEERENOV project in Bulgaria was among the leading projects paving the floor for energy efficiency renovation and going from the 100% grant model for financing of energy efficiency in households to slight transition, so it was quite moderate one, to a model or to understanding on behalf of the policymakers, but also on the stakeholder side and citizen side, that this model should be changed. And it should be changed not because only the climate goals and all the sustainability goals are saying so, but also because it has been perceived as an action that it depends on us as a community, as an economy, and as a country. Of course, the project produced a lot of results, which were going in several directions. The first and the most important one, of course, was about capacity building and awareness raising, because we have a lot of stakeholder groups, so you don't have to target just one single player on the market in order to really make the people understand why a blended finance model is needed and what one-stop shop means. By the way, the translation of one-stop shop in Bulgarian literally sounds very confusing and very administrative. So we had even problems to explain what the project is all about, because in Bulgarian it sounds something like one desk service, yeah. And it was absolutely contrary of what one-stop shop model was about. So we started with a lot of campaigns which were dedicated on explaining what one-stop shop means in energy efficiency in buildings. And that's why we produced a lot of best practice guides. We gathered experience from our Estonian partners, from the Hungarian partners, which are part of the consortium. And on the Bulgarian side, the project was composed by 5 organizations. Cleantech as a coordinator, the Ministry of Regional Development and Public Works, Sofia Municipality, the Bulgarian Austrian Consultancy Company, and the Bulgarian Facility Management Association. This was the Bulgarian group of partners. And this best practice guide that we produced was based on methodology that we developed based on the need analysis. So what the stakeholders need in Bulgaria to know about the one-stop shop model, and then what our Estonian partners and Hungarian partners are able to provide us based on their experience and based on the models that work in their countries. We selected them in the beginning as partners in this consortium because they're Eastern European countries on the first place and had very similar build stock, post-socialist buildings which should be renovated. And it was quite interesting and very useful, I believe, as a first step to initiate the project. Then we started working on several directions because the project is quite complex. It targets the one-stop shop component, but also the blended finance model. Here we had the challenge to translate this not only as a service, so who should be participating in this one-stop shop, how the different stakeholders should interact, who should pay attention on what type of the process, and to whom the citizens should send requests and questions. So this was one part. And the second part was the so-called blended financial model. Within the project, we developed something like a minimum viable proposition. So coming from the startup world, it was like a blueprint, something like a model which was consulted with the ministry You see it on the right side. It was consulted with the ministry, with the local authorities, with the Bulgarian Development Bank, with the Fund of Funds, which is the authority managing the financial instruments in Bulgaria, and we had a lot of meetings with commercial banks as well, in order to really gather the feedback of all these financial players, and to put together the grant model and what the ministry was having in mind to implement, and the financial stakeholders who again have different aims, because the commercial banks were more into profitable products and credit lines. Then we have the Fund of Funds, which is the entity which implements and puts in place the financial instruments in Bulgaria, and they're much more interested in finding a way to find this blended mechanism, because still this is something which already exists on the market, but it's very limited, and it is also very difficult to manage when it is about having a grant scheme and the financial product into one and the same offering, because usually the grants are managed by the management authorities, which are in the ministries, and the financial instruments are managed by the Fund of Funds. So it was a very, very long discussion in order to get to this scheme. By the way, I brought like 15 project handbooks, like overall project overview and results, if you want to take it as a hard copy. If not, we can send it over to everyone who is interested, because there it's very much explained about the financial model and how we established it, and also what is the role of the municipality in the process, because we are today here to talk about how the local authorities, what role they play. And it's besides this complex situation with the funding, then the municipality, even now, the municipalities in Bulgaria are the one who are receiving the applications for energy efficiency renovation. Then the people go to the municipality in order to ask questions. They argue with the people from the municipality when they're not happy. So the municipality is the interface, but actually they have no budget, no money, no decision-making power, no financial even understanding so good in terms of capacity of explaining to the citizens what and how the financial benefits are, if you want. And it's something that the project was supposed to deliver as well. So we were very ambitious when we put our activities. So we did a lot of awareness raising and capacity buildings, and Ms. VOYNOVA will tell you more about the municipality point of view, the capacity building, what the municipal staff was experiencing in that moment, because it was quite hard for them not having the proper preparation to talk to citizens about things that do not exist still. And they're on a model. Probably some policy makers are going on in public telling about new financial opportunities for energy renovation, and then everyone was going to the municipality to ask questions. And several additional results that I mentioned, the National Plan for Recovery and Resilience listed SHEERENOV as a best practice and good model to follow for the energy efficiency renovation in Bulgaria. So it was a great achievement to have this there. And right now I believe that all these lines that we started touching base upon will continue. Simultaneously, what additionally happened, we didn't have any definition of energy poverty in Bulgaria in the moment SHEERENOV was implemented. Right now we do have it. It was introduced in our legislation, and this was additional thing that we didn't thought about when we started the project. So the energy poverty topic, which came out very fast. And I will go very briefly about these few capacity building and first awareness raising activities, and then we'll give the floor to Ms. VOYNOVA for the capacity building ones for municipalities. So we had awareness raising first with municipal staff and stakeholders. Then we had different meetings with let's say citizens, but it was exactly the COVID time, so we had to be creative. This didn't work online. I mean, it was a disaster. We tried it. It was like people screaming online for 10 minutes, and then you were not able to explain anything. So what we invented was this. So we started making information campaigns in the parks, gathering people and trying to keep the COVID distance. Of course, it didn't work again, but it was better than the online meetings at least. But it was a very high interest. We did this in a lot of parks, usually when the weather was allowing it. And then, yeah, you see here we are all with masks. We had meetings with the district administrations because the municipality alone as a main office, it's not able to cover this, so the people are going to the district administrations. And we had a lot of meetings with the district's administrations, supporting them when they were meeting citizens, because they were afraid. If we were not there, partners from the project, they were not meeting the citizens at all. I mean, it was very, very, very interesting process, but we managed to do also this, and we did a lot of trainings for the districts as well. And here I will give the floor to Ms. VOYNOVA to say a few words also about how the perspective of municipality in the process, but also beyond, and what is happening now, and what can continue and will continue for sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. So very quickly, I want to make 4 points about what this project meant to the municipality of Sofia and where it got us. So you see that, okay, the first one, and I'm really, my job's made easier by the presentation of the representative of Zagreb. So I don't know how many of you here represent cities. Could you raise your hands, cities, municipalities? Okay, good. So colleagues, you know how it feels. So yeah, indeed, capacity building is a very important thing. So why is it so? Not just because this is a fast developing sphere, energy efficiency, and it really needs very professional standards on the part of cities and municipalities, but also because dramatically new procedures and protocols have to be developed within the city. So you have a limited number of staff, and the requirements for their professionalism in different areas increases constantly, and they have to be kept informed and up to speed at all times. So that really strains a lot, puts a great strain on city managers, how to distribute staff and how to keep them trained and how to keep them motivated. This project helped us with trainings, but regarding trainings, I want to focus on 2 additional things apart from skills per se. One is that if you don't have staff that is really into a topic, that really understands it and that is passionate about it, and to get passionate, you have to know about it, you have to understand it and feel comfortable in it. So unless you have this, you will never have committed people that are actually going to offer services in a way that citizens will buy in. And we know this from other areas before that, with what we did with innovations or so on. So you really have to find a way to keep people engaged, updated, because this is a really very fast developing area. And the other important thing about skills development is be careful who you involve and engage in the skills development. I know that these neighborhoods of Sofia mean nothing to you, of course. But we had in these trainings participants from different types of areas in Sofia, of districts, because Sofia is the 15th biggest European city in terms of population, and a city with huge sprawl. So it's totally different. We had regions from the downtown area where there is cultural heritage a lot, so, and that's pedestrian area, so energy efficiency in that area is totally different than energy efficiency in areas like Muados, which are high-rise blocks of flats which originated in the 60s and 70s, the so-called urban sleeping rooms. And then we also had areas like Iskar, which are peripheral areas with lower density and with 1 or 2 family houses. So why I focus on this? Because of the just aspect of the green transition. So you have to make sure that you have trained staff that understands the specific of different regions and different residents and different types of engagement. The second thing I want to focus on is process. So probably the process about skills development. And the key word is process. It's not one-time event. If you think that you will have a project and it will deliver one training and your stuff is done and that's ticked, that's doomed for a failure. So it's not just how people's minds work, that old knowledge attracts new knowledge and is attached to it, but it also shows the commitment of the institution, that the municipality is committed to keep you updated. And then walking people through the entire cycle, so they know how it starts and how it ends and where the hiccups in the process are, is also critically important. Then the third thing I want to mention is that this project helped us with citizen buy-in. We have had a lot of unsuccessful or partly successful projects, to be honest. We have had a project, for example, with exchanging household burning stoves with coals, and we were prepared to exchange approximately 20,000 households. We reached half of it. Of course, this is there was the war and the energy crisis and the energy dependency of gas from Russia, etc. So there are a lot of reasons, but still we couldn't reach the target. Why? Because for a variety of reasons, citizens didn't buy it in. So there are millions of reasons why, and I'm curious to really talk about it, but there is a significant underinvestment in energy efficiency, despite all the contextual things going on, and this is not only in Sofia. So why? And there are many reasons, but probably the 2 main ones that I want to focus on is the fragmentation of the financing instruments and of pilot projects. We constantly do pilot projects. Pilot projects about only this type of buildings or that type of buildings or this area or that residential area, which doesn't give you the holistic view that it actually concerns me as well, and that my turn will come. And the other thing is that we really don't have this master plan, this grand vision and its implementation. This is inevitable, and we cannot translate well the arguments, particularly the economic arguments. And the fourth thing I want to mention, and the final, is that this project gave us a coalition or a network of like-minded organizations and individuals as well. And I don't mean the institutional side of it. I mean that people in the city know whom to call. If they want to consult something about banks, they know whom to call. Something about energy efficiency, who is in the sector is really open to negotiations or to talk or to consultations. So they share the risk, they share the responsibility about outreach, and we sort of understand that we have the same challenge, and this challenge is to overcome these 2 major setbacks, that energy efficiency projects are expensive and complicated. So that's why we try with One Stop Shop to make them easier. And as for the expenses, to really find the models that are just and fair. And the other thing is that it is inevitable, that we will have to do that if we want to live better. And that it's not that it doesn't concern me or not my building or now is not the moment or I'm too old for that, for the return or whatever. So it gave us the feeling of urgency and the necessity for bigger measures. Both developing new financial instruments, but also this holistic vision that we have to do it. It's like the seatbelt moment. You know, that seatbelts in cars were optional for many, many, many years. But being promoted, and then made mandatory, they actually saved lots of lives. So here we get with SHEERENOV, and this is where the next project is going to take us with the financial instruments.
Thank you very much, Sevda. Just a few words and I'm concluding about the SHEERENOV project. And actually, we're very happy that SHEERENOV brought to the market actually ground for 3 new projects in Bulgaria, funded under a LIFE program right now, and they're just kicked off several weeks, months ago. And one of them, it's INSPIRENOV, which again, the same consortium of SHEERENOV, exactly the same people and experts were shifted, let's say. We wrote a proposal only on the financial models and products. So right now we started this project already, and it will be working only on the access related to financial instruments, financial products, and financial models, which is very, very challenging per se. We are talking now about the decarbonization fund, expectations, how it will be structured, and the main goal of this project will be to bring on the market several, I hope it will be several, not only one, like products that will be tested together with banks, with the financial institutions, with the key stakeholders. And then once the project is over, we believe that these products will be ready, we hope will be ready to go to the market. The second project is called SHEERENOV Plus, and we have here an effect, Dragomir, who is working on it, and it's on the one-stop shops. So again, dividing the access of SHEERENOV only with local municipalities, how the model of one-stop shops will work in more municipalities. And the third one, which I don't know, I know the lady and the coordinator in Plovdiv, but I don't know about the project, I don't know if it's kicked off. It's multi-home, I think, and it will be also working on this. I still don't know what exactly it will do. But again, SHEERENOV was, I forgot to change the slides, but yeah, they are available, I believe. We managed to say everything. But SHEERENOV was kind of a ground for additional efforts, intentions, and also really not raising awareness, not in the sense of bringing people on one place to talk about something, but to create an action, a follow-up action afterwards. And we are really very happy with it. And of course, there are a lot of problems and a lot of challenges, but this is why we are here, I believe, to work on them together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mariana. There is definitely a lot going on in Bulgaria. So if it's the first time you heard of SHEERENOV and the activities there are in Bulgaria, you should definitely follow what is coming in the next years. And without further ado, I will give the floor to Jenny-Claire KEILMANN and presenting the EU Peers project. And then if you have questions for SHEERENOV, please note them down. We will take them afterwards.
Thank you. I'm just looking for the slides, if it's working. This would be great. In the meantime, I can present myself, so thank you very much. Warm welcome also from my side. It's very nice that you're here. Thank you for your time and your interest in the topic of our session. My name is Jenny-Claire KEILMANN. I'm working for Climate Alliance. It's a European city network of over 2,000 committed local and regional authorities committed to reduce their CO2 emissions. I'm here. I'm the pleasure to be here for 10 minutes. It was clear before. I will complement this presentation. I will present EU Peers. EU Peers is a project that started last month. So I'm not in the position to say so many interesting things about how we can go, problems we faced, what we achieved, but I can present you what we can offer you in the next 3 years. Because if you're here in the room and you're interested in the topic, I think that this project could also be for you. The aim of EU Peers is to create a European community of practice for our one-stop shops and stakeholders. They are working around one-stop shops. So a community of practice is a group of peers that are facing the same challenges, that have the same objectives, and they would like to move on together to solve problems together. This is what we want to do in EU Peers. So our key objective is to support the movement of one-stop shops, because we think that they are key to accelerate home renovation in Europe. So I will use the terms of integrated home renovation services and one-stop shop for residential energy renovation as a synonym. So here I think I will use more one-stop shop, as you might be used to. So I go through quickly. So why is a European Committee of Practice in 2023 necessary? What are the challenges we would like to address in the project? So, well, we have a first generation of one-stop shops spread across Europe. They all face similar challenges, so because they're in the role of the pioneers, so at the moment they're not well enough connected. So this is why we would like to start a project, and there are still few numbers. And if we really want to accelerate energy renovation, we need much more. Also, like the EU policy is saying us, and another reason why there's this project, there's a low visibility. They're the actors who are doing a lot, and we would like to make visible the impact that they have and give them visibility, and also work on the policy framework to show what they need, and also work with stakeholders like from the market to create better conditions for them. So this is why EU peers would like to provide diverse formats of exchange, capacity buildings, exchange learnings, really oriented to what the needs of the members to move on together. We would like to support not only the existing practitioners, but also the emerging one-stop shop initiatives, and we would like to improve the framework conditions. So, as I said, we would like to support the active, the skilled practitioners, and then build bridges between the existing and new ones. And the core of EU peers is to build a vibrant and helpful community that is inclusive and that is engaging its members. For whom is it? So I said it is, I expected that it is for you in the room. It is first for existing and emerging one-stop shop initiatives, but also for our relevant stakeholders. There are public authorities, energy agencies that are acting as one-stop shop, but also they want to support the movement. Stakeholders from the demand and supply side, financing institutions, and it is for all actors across Europe. So if you're now also seeing the challenge of building a community from scratch, that is addressing actors all over Europe, it is a challenge. So you will understand that we have now in the project a country-specific approach and a European approach. We would like to start with community platforms. So it's a European community that will have 6 community platforms in 6 countries for the start. In France, in Spain, in Italy, Ireland, Latvia and Hungary, and 1 community platform to exchange that is extended open to all. We have 6 ones because we have 6 very good partners that can act as community members in these countries. As you all know, and we heard, we all have different limited resources of time, different kind of resources. We're in different phases in our projects. So it is very important for us to be able to provide entries also with limited resources for the different actors that we are. So we want to build multiple entries so that we can guarantee that you can enter the community when you are ready, when you want it. So I showed you we have the community platforms. They will have for sure 3 meetings every year. So we'll meet online and physically. We have exchanges at European level. We will have a gathering event in Brussels every year. We will create a digital platform exclusively for one-stop shops so you can see your peers in an online community, and we have for sure a website and social media. There is no logo because we just started, so you see it's something I need to speak. In future, there will be a project website. It's not set so far. And so you see, you need multiple entries, and we also want to have multiple opportunities. So really the diversity of capacity building, of working groups, of policy debates, to really activate all different kinds of stakeholders that are relevant to accelerate the renovation. We want to have a mentoring program, and very important to us is the idea of the co-creation. As was mentioned from Bulgaria, the definition of a one-stop shop is really key in all countries. So there's the need of having a checklist. what is a one-stop shop. We need the framing conditions, the political one, are really difficult. So there's the need of writing together some recommendations. So to sum up, EUPs would like to provide exchange and capacity building formats really oriented towards the members, give visibility to the movement, improve the political and policy conditions, and work with stakeholders from the market. And as I said, we just kicked off, so you see nice pictures when the weather was great in Germany. So it was a kick-off meeting last month, and you see what we are all discussing. We are in the phase of discussing how to shape this community, but we are all motivated, I can tell you, and we will start soon. And if you want to join this exciting phase of build-up of a project, please contact us. You can see my email address. I'm happy that one partner is in the room, GNE Finance is also here in the room. And you can see the name of the 6 entities that are responsible for the communities in these countries. Just contact us and we will provide you all information for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jeanne-Claire. So you are now part of the happy few who knows about EU peers. We were not invited in Berlin. Apparently the weather is also different now, but still, you know. And there will be much more. This project is actually very important to us. I mean, to understand what is going on in one-stop shops, the practical realities of one-stop shops, and also for us also to communicate with these different experiments. So now we will take some time for question and answers. There will surely be some. Just to mention, because I would have been very interested also to learn more on the blended finance. So I understood that the brochures here are providing details. There are only a limited number, so I guess don't
bring more in their plate.
Exactly. But don't fight over this, because there's probably more at the website also, no? There. Okay. And so, question and answer. I would have a first question. You mentioned that when you started, you actually looked at similar experiences and similar building stocks in Eastern Europe. I wanted to know if you continue these exchanges with Estonia, I think Lithuania also, and how it worked, and how you would see the service offer that is proposed now with EU peers.
It is a question for me. Okay. First, yes, Estonia and Hungary are in as partners in the next phase of the project as well. But we have in the new project, in SHEERENOV, about the financial instruments, one activity, one work package, which is dedicated to expansion and exploitation of results. Meaning that we will bring other countries on board and interact with them. But now we are not on the best practice level anymore. We want to scale. We want to go on a more practical oriented approach, talking with concrete organizations in the countries, and actually we will move through networks, and I think here the connection with the Climate Alliance will be really, really very useful also to get in touch with such partners in other countries which are facing similar challenges, because I believe that right now the conversation which should be lifted to a level of practitioners. And this community of practice, I believe, will be a very good floor for exchange with people who already got into the process, know what the bottlenecks are, and exchange between themselves how they're solving them.
And just one quick addition, it's very important when you compare, first of all, it's very important for citizen and institutional buy-in to really show that others are moving in the same direction. It is really motivating that you're not alone in this process and others are struggling and doing similar things. It's very important to find your sphere of reference that is comparable, Because if you compare with something that's beyond compare, it's demotivating. So finding the right examples is very important, but it doesn't mean to say that you have to be limited only to those. Because sometimes inspiration and cross-fertilization comes from unexpected spaces, and that's what Mariana was saying.
If you can just introduce, say your name and where you're from.
Hello, my name is Lucia Rakočić. I come from Tinki, and we represent Citizen-led Renovation Initiative, which is an initiative from the European Commission to upscale home renovations in member states. And we currently have four pilots initiatives that are already existing. Among them is one in Bulgaria, but it's a very small one. It's called Izgrei, and they have a pilot in Plovdiv, and now they're moving to Sofia. And my question there for you is, first, it's really good to see this, and I'll reach out to all of you so that we can collaborate on this topic. But my question is, how do you see energy communities, which now are officially there also in the legislation in Bulgaria, and maybe housing associations as actors in this process? Because indeed, if it's up to a single homeowner, then it's one per one, and it takes forever. Yeah, and we see it as a option, let's say, to upscale activities. Is this something that you already have activities on, that you're already collaborating with? Thank you.
Actually, yes, we do, because before the legislation was official, the topic about the energy community was largely discussed in Bulgaria. I believe that right now the concept about how the communities will be organized is still to come. Of course, there are examples, again, several pilots in the country, but the role of the homeowners and the association of homeowners is crucial. And here, I believe it's crucial first on the side of the engagement and also structuring the process, but also it's crucial for the financial model that we are trying to develop. So we will work very intensively with this energy community topic as a whole, because otherwise the things cannot work on many levels. What has been largely discussed right now in Bulgaria is that the homeowners associations still, they do not have a bank account, which is a very simple thing, but they don't have it. And the banks are asking about traceability of, at least 1-2 years that you see who is paying, who is not paying, and some kind of a risk management, risk scenarios. You don't have this. So this is on the side of financial overview, but also the role of the professional managers, facility managers of these condominiums is to be discussed as part of the energy communities. It's a very broad topic, but for sure we will work very intensively on it. We will see how to include and incorporate this in the whole process. And from municipality, it will differ very much, for sure. This is absolutely.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
Hi, Quentin Jossen from KEILMANN, working here in Belgium to support the administrations on the topic. A double question. In the perspective of the scaling up of the one-stop shop services, how do you see the initiative being rather a public service, a private one, or a combination of public and private forces to make sure that we can scale up? And a bit related to that, in terms of the blended financing solution, can you give a bit more taste about the type of products that you would test, and what would be the role of public capital and private capital, and how you blend that to attract the private ones, for the scaling up?
Yeah, maybe I'd start with the first, the discussion, because it's a really discussion that you can often hear. Should it be private, public, or public-private partnership? I think there's room for everybody. Yeah? At the moment, it is not. I think it's not the moment to discuss this, and we need everybody, and every actor has his legitimacy to be there. And also, if you look at the different countries, there are countries that are really marked by players that are more from economical side and more in the countries that are more public. But it's as it is, huh? And we need to work with this. I think it's not a discussion now to have, do we want to work with them or not with them? I think we need to think about how to set up models, different models, how to involve also the public, not only on being owner or the single actor, but how they can be involved in the process. I think we need to think about the whole diversity of actors working together.
I completely agree with this, because it's very specific, and it's even not only country specific, it's region specific, municipality specific. So
just to explain, the Sofia specific, for example, what works for us, but at least for the time being, is that it should be the so-called one arm's length principle. So it's not exactly public, but significant public involvement, so that it is considered important enough to be in the agenda of the city and the government. That's in our context.
you know, when you start talking about models, and everyone that is getting very inspired, but I don't think here it's about first we need a market. I don't think that we need a model. And in order to have a market, you need to have a product. And usually the product is money, I mean financial product, because once you have money available, different offerings of financial products for different type of end users or customers, let's call it like this, in order to simplify it, then you will have different models. Because in the models in which you have more private money involved into the process, the model of the one-stop shop will be completely different than a process in which you have more public money involved in the process. And here we're talking about different percentages. So we don't talk anymore about 100% grant schemes, but nevertheless, even 80%, 70% of public involvement in the financial model, it's too high. So, and then the model, of course, will be public, of a one-stop shop. Who is giving the money, he's coordinating the game in a way. Of course, integrating others, but you know, it's the majority of the one who gives the money. And when you go below 50% of the blended finance scheme and you have less than 50% grant, but more private money involved, then it will be for sure more the model about public-private partnership, but also more private organizations involved, intermediaries, energy efficiency auditors, and so on. So the one who are doing the job, because they have place there and they should be there. Without those people, only the banks and the municipalities are lost. So you need the real experts who will do the job on the ground. And this is also very important to mention, and sometimes we are forgetting about it.
Thank you. I think we have one question here, one there, and then I think we'll need to wrap up.
Hello, good morning. My name is Gislene Façanha. I'm from Portugal. I'm representing an environmental NGO, Zero. Thank you for sharing everything, because right now I don't feel alone. But just sharing a little bit the context of Portugal. We are in the same path. We suffer with energy poverty. Most of 70% of our building stock is really inefficient. And we, our organization, we work close with the government, with other organizations. And my two questions are related. First, we had a lot of problems with the one-stop shop, mostly with vulnerable population, because first, no one wants to be energy poor, feel in energy poverty. We also tested a lot of different models, like having the one-stop shop in containers far away of the neighborhood, so they feel comfortable to ask questions. Also changing the technical words and the text and the way that we communicate with them to a more popular way that they can feel closer and understand more about the problem. So I would like to know your experience about approaching people in this condition, in this level of vulnerability. And second, last week I had a meeting, was like a round table to talk about financial schemes to support renovation in Portugal. And the commercial banks, they were really tough to deal. And I would like to know your experience with that, because in Portugal we have two famous programs. One is called More Sustainable Buildings, and the other is the Efficiency Voucher, that is more like vulnerable population. And the other is for people that they can pay the upfront costs of renovation. But there are a huge part of the population in the limbo. So we are trying to diverse more the finance schemes and help the population that they are in this limbo, because we need to renovate now because the conditions are the worst ever. So thank you very much.
I don't think I can answer very fast none of those questions. I will just say we can continue talking afterwards in the coffee break for sure. But I would just say I don't think that there is, again, a one-stop shop model who can cover the energy poverty and the rest of the requests and offerings. So there should be different models, because you cannot have just one offering and then hope that everyone will get happy with it. So you should adjust it, and when it is about energy poverty and vulnerable groups, then you need for sure some integration of social services or Ministry of Social Affairs, someone who will be responsible to linking the energy poverty together with other social poverty aspects, and deal it not as an energy efficiency renovation measure, but as a social measure to support. And here it is the difference. So with energy renovation and energy efficiency renovation in residential buildings, it's not equal to energy poverty at all. And you should have completely different instruments for this.
I'm afraid we have to wrap up. For those who had questions, I think you can still find the speakers at coffee or during lunch. So thank you very much for your participation. There is still another session now coming, and I see that people are joining maybe for this discussion on one other type of one-stop shop, and one-stop shop for energy community, so very much related also to one of the questions. So thank you very much to the speakers. I'm sure we'll hear more of you in the coming years. Lots going on in Bulgaria, lots going on also with EU peers. Thank you for your participation, and have a nice next session.